As I left the nightmare that had been my trip to Kolasin, I figured my day couldn't get any worse. I was wrong. I tried to drive to another ski resort. It was along a beautiful mountain road. I was just considering how fortunate I was to be doing it in daylight, as my original plan had been to do it that evening. But then Kolasin happened. I gained elevation, and as the road got narrower and the snow got deeper, what had been a beautiful adventure turned into a treacherous nightmare. I stopped to move a massive rock out of the road. There'd been a small landslide, and soon I was slipping and sliding up a narrow track with no space to turn around. I turned a corner, and from the tracks up ahead, it was obvious that many vehicles had struggled up to that point, but incredibly, right there was a turnaround point, the only one I'd seen for many miles. I turned tail and headed down. I figured I'd already pushed my luck too much for one day. My plan was to drive all the way back to Kolasin and take the alternate route, but a quick check on Google Maps showed that that route was blocked too. I wouldn't be skiing for a second day in a row. Gutted. If I couldn't ski, then I wanted to be warm, so I headed down the mountain through a beautiful canyon to Podgorica. I stopped there for food at around 4 p.m, my first food of the day, and I realised I was only an hour from the coast, so I headed on to Budva, a beautiful spot by the sea. The journey started gloriously, with the warm setting sun lighting up the stunning mountains, but then the TimmyBago started to grumble. I've been hearing knocking noises on and off for some time. Mostly at low speed and going round corners. Now it was almost a constant, especially in low gears. But the TimmyBago was still driving fine. Then he wasn't. Heading up a hill, just past a sign that said no phone signal area, he started shuddering wildly, scarily so. I thought the engine was about to blow. I've never felt that in any vehicle ever before. Clutch down, fine. Engaged gears, not fine. Crap. What to do? I freewheeled for a while, tried again and it felt better, then not, then better, then not. There was not much else I could do apart from try to drive as efficiently as possible and limp back to Budva. I was astonished to find we climbed high enough to see more snow, and the weather got very grim. Thick cloud and it felt cold. The sun was nowhere to be seen. This would be an awful time for complete engine failure, but somehow the TimmyBago made it to the highest point, and I was filled with absolute joy when I saw Budva gleaming down below me. I knew now at least I'd be getting back to civilization. And that brings me here to sunny Budva. A TimmyBago made it. God bless his soul. I've rented an apartment just over here. Spoke to my host, who very kindly offered to put me in touch with their local garage to hopefully get a diagnosis, try and figure out what's wrong with him, whether we can get him fixed, whether he's safe to drive onwards. Really, I don't know. I've got no clue. I've done a bit of research online and it could be anything from like some sticky fuel filters all the way through to complete engine failure. It's a little bit stressful, truth be told. No, actually it's very stressful, and it'd be good to find out. And it's very difficult because I didn't pay a huge amount for him. He's done a lot of miles, over 220,000 miles now. He's not that old, 10 or 12 years, something like that, I think. But the hassle of having it happen here in Montenegro as opposed to back in the UK, you know, depending on the cost of the repairs, if he even can be repaired, it makes a massive factor. Like there's already payments I've made, like I've already paid for the ferry back over to the UK in a couple of weeks. So if I don't repair him here, how am I going to get him back? It's all a load of stress, to be honest, and I'm just desperate to find out exactly what's wrong with him and how much it's going to cost. And I've been doing this on a walk because this is actually the garage right here. Talk about local. I mean, it's literally the next street over. So as you can see, shut at the moment, but I'll be bringing him back up here tomorrow morning to get that diagnosis. Fingers crossed. Okay, we've got the diagnosis. It is the CV joint and the engine foot. It's basically the drive shaft connection to the wheels and the mounting of the engine. So two things. I've given him the chassis number. He's going to work out a quote for me and get back to me in the next couple of days. I'm also going to go and check out the internet and see how much this might cost. Okay, back at the ranch doing some research online, and it looks like it's hard to tell with local labour costs, but maybe 400 quid all in. We're going to have to wait for the quote to come through. In the meantime, pleased it's not anything to do with the engine. Just hopefully this is on the lower end of the estimate. Fingers crossed. And I hate waiting around for news. It's all a bit too stressful. So why don't we go outside and enjoy this sunshine in the best way I know how. This is Sveti Stefan, some kind of village on a rock, which I know nothing about, but I'll stick some stuff on the screen now as I run all the way back to Budva. Let's go. Oh, there we go, back in town, sun disappearing over the mountain. Look at those beautiful hills. Let's head back to the ranch and see if there's a call from that mechanic. Nah.
Several days later.
Right, well, while we're waiting, do you want to go and check out the old town? Just over there. Come on. I'll show you around. It's extremely quiet this time of year. In the summer, this place is absolutely rammed. Struggle to get through all the little alleyways and stuff. But this is a great spot for evening drinks and live music. Again, this area is just packed and it's so atmospheric. It's lovely this time of year though. February, just quiet, warm, but quiet. Look, there's a little cat house here. The old town's really beautiful with loads of quirky little shops and bars and cafes, all that kind of stuff. But the new town just over my shoulder there is absolutely rampaging forward, new builds everywhere. I last came here a couple of years ago and it's changed so much in just that short time. Spoke to a few of the locals about it and it's pros and cons, isn't it? Looking after the tourists, which brings in the money, but it changes their town from a sleepy little seaside town into a booming tourist destination. Loads of places are going through it.
Several days later.
Well, I've tried to be patient. If I'm being honest, I've probably been too patient. That diagnosis was on Tuesday. It's now the following Monday, and I've still heard nothing back from them. So I've taken things into my own hands. I have gone to another garage and I need to get them the chassis number so they can do some investigation. The person I spoke to there was fantastic, spoke perfect English and just seemed very motivated, shall we say. So I'm feeling positive about this one. As always, fingers crossed. Right, chassis number recorded, back to the garage. Chassis number submitted. The nice lady's now checking to see A, whether they can get the parts, B, whether the mechanics can do the job, and then if so and all good, when. I feel good that I'm being proactive about this. I was feeling the anxiety rising in me this morning with various things on the agenda in the next few weeks I'd like to get to. So I was trying to be all patient, and I did quite a good job for a while, but the time had come. Action needed to be taken. Let's see how it pans out. Ooh, it's not good news, folks. They haven't got the parts. They can't get the parts. And even if they could, they don't have the tools to fix the van. The helpful lady, though, did give me a phone number of a place in Podgorica, which is the capital, which is where I came from to here. So what to do now? I can't drive the van there. I don't feel like it's safe to drive there. Oh, let's get in contact with them and figure it out. So that feels like a good place to leave this one. Hit like and subscribe. Send me a friendly comment if you want. And we'll see you next week when hopefully we'll have got the van fixed. But who knows? Peace.